Alright, Shalom. First of all, I'm start this lesson off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are still fervently pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and Shalom to all the sincere believers. Now, this lesson is going to be primarily based around Job 14 and 5. About how Esau, the so-called self-proclaimed white man's days are numbered. So through the spirit, I'm going to give some precepts, and Ottawa and Ratazah, you're edified. So Job 14 and 5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And that's right. The Lord put Esau, the so-called white man, on a time limit on how long he would be ruling. And that time is almost up. And that's why everything has been falling apart for Esau lately. Like you have, in particular, the whole Epstein files thing, which we know that there's a lot of Edomites on that list. And it just proves that these Edomites are vile, and they're wicked, and they're disgusting, and they're nothing but a bunch of rapists and murderers and pedophiles. Anybody that's been paying attention, especially on TikTok, these Edomites, they're becoming a lot more racist. This Trump administration has really emboldened these Edomites to really show who they are and how they really feel. And see, these Edomites, the so-called white man in particular, along with his wicked counterpart, the so-called white woman, they know that they're falling out of power. They can see the tide turning, so to speak. And so they're going to lash out more and more against, especially Jake, Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as all these other brown-skinned nations. Because Esau wants to stay in power, but he can't, because the Lord has appointed his bounds that he can't pass. So Esau thinks that if he can establish his NWO, that New World Order, if he can get everybody to take that chip, that charagma, then he can stay in power. But the Lord is going to disappoint him. The Lord is going to shut down his wicked plans before they can be fulfilled. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And the wicked has been revealed. And we know that the wicked, with a capital W, is Esau, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. I mean, look at all the chaos this man has been causing throughout the world for centuries. Just going throughout the world, colonizing, rape, robbing, murdering, stealing land, stealing resources, oppressing the native people of those lands, putting them in slavery, or committing a genocide upon them. And then he turns around and claims to be those people. Like, this is who Esau is. She's nothing but a colonizer and a murderer and a liar and a thief. And through the men of the Lord, starting of course with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the Lord has exposed Esau, has exposed this so-called white man for being the wicked. And Esau has been getting exposed more and more. Even his own woman, the so-called white woman, is turning against him and exposing him. So the so-called white man, he's getting scared. See, and the thing about these Edomites is that they have two tactics. First, they deceive you. And when they can no longer deceive you and lie to you because you no longer believe it, then they just turn violent. Once Esau realizes that he can't deceive the people anymore, then he's just gonna, turn his little militias on the people. That's what these ICE agents are. That's what the police force is, the National Guard, the military. That's how Esau, enforces his wickedness through just brute strength when he can no longer lie to you and deceive you and manipulate you. And a lot of people are very pissed off at these Edomites because people are starting to realize that Esau has always been the problem. But Esau, he's not about to just step out of the way and, let somebody else run things. He's gonna hold on until the very end. But that very end is gonna be his destruction. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And Esau knows that he has a short time. He can see that his time is quickly running out. So he's just up in the ante, so to speak, just pulling out all the stops. And that's when the civil war and the race wars are going to pop off. Because that's all Esau is going to have left. That's going to be his Hail Mary, so to speak, his last-ditch effort to maintain control over the world. But it's not going to work. Ultimately, his wicked plans are going to fail before they can be fully fulfilled. The Lord is going to shut Esau down. And these Edomites, they're going to get destroyed. America is going to get destroyed. All of these Edomites, wherever it is that they dwell, their wicked kingdoms, here in America, Canada, the UK, Italy, Germany, France, Russia, Australia, Sweden, anywhere where these Edomites are running things, they're in charge. All of these wicked kingdoms are going to get brought down, right along with the Edomites who are running them. And then these Edomites, they're going to go into slavery under the Israelites for 1,000 years. And then they're going to be rounded up and they're going to be erased off the face of the earth. That is the The destiny of Esau was to rule for a short period of time, create total chaos throughout the world, and then in the last days, he would be revealed for being the wicked. He would be exposed for being the wicked. And then in the last ditch effort to stay in power, he was going to unleash great wrath upon the earth. And basically try to enslave the world the way his ancestors did. But this time the Lord is going to shut down his plans and bring him down, take him out of power, and he will never rise again. So for all you sincere brothers and sisters out there, just stay locked in. Continue to watch the news. Continue to watch brothers' videos, more importantly. Continue to stay prayed up. Continue to be circumspect, because things are about to get very, very turned up out here. Esau, the so-called white man, he knows that his time is almost up. So he's going to pour out his wrath a lot more. He's going to continue to talk about wanting to colonize these other countries, like how Trump is talking about taking over Greenland. He wants to take over Venezuela. This is the mindset of the so-called white man. Just like his ancestors, all he wants to do is colonize lands, oppress the brown-skinned people in those lands, steal their resources, demonize them. That's what he wants to do. But see, the Lord's not going to let him do that again. And that's a very beautiful thing to focus on. That the time of the wicked is short. And that his downfall is basically right around the corner. We just have to continue to be patient and continue to endure. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. In closing, I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakudash. The water Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to our brothers who are firmly pushing the word in sincerity and in faith, and shalom to all the sincere believers. Hope you all stay strong, stay safe, stay fervent, stay circumspect, stay prayed up. Adawan Ratazah. Till next time, shalom.